How do I get my house cleaner? When I look at other people's houses, their houses look cleaner than mine. That's an interesting question, and we're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, if you have a question, you can ask it at askahouseCleaner.com. Right there in the bottom of the screen, there's a little blue button. If you click on that blue button, a microphone appears. You can just start talking, and it records it to me here at the show. You can also write into the show, Angela at askahouseCleaner.com. And you can leave notes in all of the social media where you might be watching or listening to this podcast / YouTube video. It's the same program, but it's a YouTube video and it's a podcast. So wherever you're listening, however you're consuming this, there are ways that you can tag in at the bottom and you can leave us notes, and that will get to me here at the show. All right, the question today comes from a homeowner who cleans her own house and wants to know, why is my house not as clean as other people's houses? Their houses look cleaner. All right, well, it's an interesting phenomenon, but when we live with our own stuff, we see it differently than how other people see it. It's the same concept that when you record your own voice and then you hear the voice playing back to you, you're like, ugh, that's not my voice, right? It is your voice. It's just that because your voice is so close to your ears, you hear it differently than other people hear it. Now, when you go to someone else's house, they think their house is not as clean as your house, for example, because we live with all of our own stuff. Now, you might have stuff that's old. I have furniture that's 15 years old. Actually, it's probably like 17 years old. Now, my furniture in the back of my head is 17-year-old furniture, but I take very good care of it. It still looks brand new. So if you came to my house, you'd go, wow, Angela has a whole house full of brand new furniture. Well, no, I don't. It's 17 years old, and I take really good care of it, and I use the leather treatments on the leather, and I've got wrought iron furniture, and when it gets dinged up, I repaint it, and I make sure that it looks nice and it's tidy. So it looks like it's new. So if you came to my house, you would be mistaken if you thought I just went out and bought a whole house full of new furniture. So when you go into someone else's house, you don't really know what you're looking at. Now, if you look inside a mirror, what you're going to see is a reflection of yourself. And if you look at that mirror every single day, you could put on 20 or 30 pounds over the course of a year or two, but you would never see it because it happens slowly. It's in incremental moments, right? But then somebody that hasn't seen you in a couple of years would be like, whoa, you look so different, right? Because they're looking at something with new eyes. So when you see something every day, you have a tendency to misjudge the reality of what you're seeing. So I'm not saying that your house is not clean, but your house is probably every bit as clean as someone else's house. You're just looking at it through your own eyes. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you permission to succeed. And by that I mean this. When you make a list of all of the things that need to be done in your house, and we do this for professional house cleaners, but you certainly can do it just as your own house cleaning person if you clean your own house. You can make a checklist of everything that needs to be done. When you're done cleaning those things, you can check them off. And if you want to have a worksheet, it's the one that the professional house cleaners use. Go to SavvyCleaner.com/worksheets. I'll leave a link in the show notes as well if you're driving in your car and you cannot see the link. The worksheet just walks you through every step of the house. When you check something off, that means I've done it, this is up for inspection. Ta-da! Here it is. So when you check it off, that means it's done. And once the checklist has been gone through and it's clean, your house is clean. You're done. There's no sense over cleaning, and there's no sense worrying about, well, is my neighbor's house cleaner than mine? Who cares, right? Who cares? The neighbors are not paying your bills. They're not living at your house. And if they're coming over and they're judging you, it's time you find some new neighbors, right? You don't need neighbors that are going to come and judge you about your house. Who cares, right? Your house is probably very clean if you're keeping it clean and tidy. And if you're not sure, use a checklist. All right, that's it for today. Until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.